Alright everybody, it's Thursday, so that means another week of football is upon us, and after last week I got to redeem myself for finishing last with my picks. I finished 10-5.
Yep.
David finished 12-3.
12-3.
And so did Michael, so I guess you guys are cheating with each other.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Thursday night football game this week is a divisional matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Steelers don't have Big Ben. Ravens don't have T-Sizzle. So, what are you going to pick, Dave?
It's a bit of a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to give the Ravens the edge because Big Ben is out. Even though I don't think he's that great. He's having a good start, though, this year. They got my boy Mike Vick in, who tore it up in Philly, but that was about a while ago, in football years at least.
Yeah.
So with the Jets, he didn't do so well last year. So I don't know. I'm gonna give the Ravens the edge. I feel like they really need a win. It's a must win. It's prime time divisional game. I'm giving it to the Ravens.
I'm gonna go with the Steelers just on a wild card that Vic has a good game. He hasn't played football in a while. Might bring back some memories.
Hope so.
Might bring back some bad memories of some stuff he's done in the past. Yeah, that being said, the Ravens without Terrell Suggs is a whole different team for some reason, and their offense has just been embarrassing. So I'm gonna go Steelers on this one. What did Mike pick?
My brother picked the Baltimore Ravens as well to win. I think he feels that they got a game that they have to win. They're hungry. They've lost all their games this year in fashion that you feel like they could have won. They were easy wins for them at the beginning. Now 0-3 is not a good start to the year. So we'll see what happens.
Let's see if hunger is enough to win them a game.
Alrighty, our next matchup is in London, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time startup, so remember that.
I'm not watching this game.
No. The New York Jets are facing off against the home team, Miami Dolphins. Who do you got?
Last week I think the MVP for the Dolphins was their equipment manager, whoever does the laundry for the team, because Ryan Tannehill's jersey was dirty. He spent a lot of time on the ground. I think he's going to bring back a lot of souvenirs from London, one of them being grass.
Wembley grass.
Yeah, I picked the Jets on this one, no contest. Tannehill has been just a bust in my eyes, and I have no confidence in him as a quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. Dolphins, like you said last week, they could get a bunch of pieces, but if they're not for the right puzzle, then it makes no difference. So
terrible team. Jets
had a bit of a stumble against my Eagles last week, and I think they're going to make up for it now. They're in another country altogether. They're playing in Wembley, a great, crazy stadium, gorgeous stadium. So I think the Jets take it in probably blowout fashion, just like the way the Bills blew out the Dolphins last week.
Yes. Who did Michael pick?
He also has the Jets for the exact same reasons. Dolphins suck, and Jets, Dolphins lose.
The current Dolphins look like the dolphins that have the little plastic thing stuck around their nose and they can't breathe. It's sad to watch.
Yeah.
You wish you could help, but you don't know why they're not just sliding it off. Just open your mouth, win a game. It's terrible, but that's what it is. I go Jets on we're all going Jets on this one. Dolphins, you're blacklisted. Next game.
Next up, we got his Colts again. Hosting the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Cats. Look, Jaguars suck. Let's be honest. All right, they got completely routed last week by the Pats. Colts have been struggling though. They barely came out with a win last week. Lucky pick against Mariota. That shouldn't really even be a pick. But the Jags suck, and that can't be emphasized enough. Colts win. Michael's got the Colts. I don't even think we have to talk about it any further than that. It's the Jaguars.
Not commenting.
Moving on to next week.
All right. Next game is the Battle of Red, White, and Blue, a true American game. The New York Giants visiting the Buffalo Bills. I like the Giants a lot as a team. I like Eli Manning as a slightly oafish looking quarterback. But that being said, Rex Ryan has proven to me that he can win a game against a very good team. He put up an insane fight against the Patriots, and he made the Dolphins look like the Jaguars. So I'm going Bills on this one, just because they're the host team, and the Giants just don't have enough of a team to compete with what Buffalo's offering.
Yeah, Bills take it. I don't know how easy it's gonna be because Odell had a big game. He's having a relatively decent season, but that Bills defense has proven strong. And Bills historically, at least the last couple of years, always at the beginning of the year they do really well. They're at home again. See how the stadium rattles Odell and the rest of those Giants, but I think the Bills take it in probably a 2 or 3 score win. I know Michael has also picked the Buffalo Bills for pretty much the same reasons. Bills are proving that they're good. Tyrod Taylor is proving that this guy is a starter, and they got a good team. Mind you, Shady is out this week, most likely. He's not. They're saying he's not looking good. So if he's out, it might be a bit of a stumble. But I think we all agree that the Bills got this one.
I'm gonna make a bold prediction and say if Shady McCoy is out, that Tyrod Taylor will have a couple of rushing touchdowns on his own.
Let's find out. Next up, the Black Cats facing off against the Pirates. Panthers at Bucks. What do you got?
Whew. Look, Buccaneers didn't pull through for me last week, and I'm gonna hold that against them. Carolina Panthers have been impressing me. They've been playing some, middle of the road teams. I mean, Jacksonville, New Orleans, but the Buccaneers are just as equally, unproven. And with the experience that they have, with the athleticism that their players have, I like their chances. Buccaneers still, to me, have a lot to prove.
I agree with you. I think Carolina takes it. I've been writing them off all season long. We all have. They're not a complete team, but they're better. They're probably the best worst team in the league.
Yeah.
That's probably the best way to put it.
One thing I will say though is I don't think Cam Newton's old enough to win the next game. Pretty weird penalty. Or lack of on that Sunday. But who did Michael pick for this?
He picked the Panthers as well. So we're all on the Panthers on this one.
All right. So one of us is probably wrong.
Find out.
We'll see next week. On to the next game. Yep. Next game is a heated division rivalry. David's Eagles visiting the Redskins, the most racist team in football. Michael's pick is the Eagles. My pick is also the Eagles because the Eagles showed that against a very capable Jets defense, they could look like a really strong team. Chip Kelly is a genius again, as everyone is saying, and the Redskins just continue to be an enigma, wrapped in a riddle, wrapped in a QB scandal, wrapped in a racist organization name. So fly Eagles fly, and unfortunately Dave can't give his opinion, but we'll see what happens next week.
Alright, so next up we have the Oakland Raiders in Chicago to face off against the Bears. Bears didn't have a great outing. 10 possessions, 10 punts against the Seahawks in Seattle. Jimmy Clausen clearly could not handle that defense, that crowd, or the fact that he was a quarterback again. But the Bears have traded Jared Allen this week to the Panthers, and they just released one of their safeties. I forgot his name, Vereen.
Yes.
So they're cleaning up house. John Fox is a successful coach. We'll see how they fare in the weeks to come. But this week, I'm giving it to the lowly Raiders.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Raiders as well, just because I like Amari Cooper's name. Really just John Fox, I think, was very dependent on Peyton Manning being an elite player when he was there. The defense is performing a lot better without him around, and the offense is getting by, which is weird. But, Peyton's older. But anyway, that's another matchup that we're going to talk about. Yeah. Raiders, Bears. The Raiders have seized opportunities when they normally wouldn't. The Bears have been an embarrassment. I don't think they have the confidence to win this game, even though they are at home. I go Raiders all the way. Michael can't say who he picked because it's his team, but I'm pretty sure if he could, he'd say the same thing.
Yeah, most likely.
Raiders might be making a turnaround. Let's see next week. Up next, on this NFL Sunday prediction, we have the Houston Texans visiting the Atlanta Falcons. And I'll start off by saying that I hate the Houston Texans. They're a nuisance. This season, they're actually doing us a favor by losing all these games because the Colts need to win the division. That's the only way we make the playoffs every year. So I'm going to go ahead and pick the Falcons just out of raw hope.
Well, I agree with you again. It's
Mhm.
like I think we have pretty much in every pick so far except for the first one, I believe.
Virtually.
I think Falcons take it. They're red hot. Julio Jones is a beast. He's playing a little injured, but I don't think the Texans have anything to stop him, whether he's injured or not.
Yeah.
Matt Ryan's proving again that he's a pretty solid quarterback. Their defense, not playing amazing, but they're playing pretty good. They let up quite a few points against Dallas, but I don't think that the Texans' offense is good enough to beat their defense. So I'm taking the Falcons, and Michael has also picked the Falcons. Red hot again, Julio Jones.
Yeah.
Easy win for Atlanta.
Good coaching too in Atlanta.
Yeah, new coach this year, so far it's paying off.
Yeah, good quarterback situation. Very surprised by the Falcons team, especially after last season, how embarrassing it was for, I think, the whole organization didn't see that coming.
No.
So yeah, we'll see what happens next week.
Next up is Kansas City at Cincinnati to face the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
What do you got?
I hate the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, I despise them as a team. I don't like their logo. I don't like their quarterback's hair color. I don't like anything about that team. I don't like that their coach looks like he visits the tanning salon too often. I don't like any of it. But this season, they're proving that they're a decent club, and they're having a good start. They have a solid team. I have to admit what it is. They got Green and they got Dalton working together very well.
Yeah.
The Chiefs seem to just be having some bad luck. They played Green Bay at home. Terrible idea. They dropped the ball twice to Denver in 9 seconds, lost the game heartbreaking fashion.
Yeah.
But I really think they're becoming very one-dimensional, and teams are figuring them out. Jamal Charles, we get it, So because the Bengals defense is very good, they're at home, I go Bengals.
I'm going to take the bit of a different view on this one. I do think that the Bengals have a great team, and they're really pulling hard this year, and they're proving that they're good, but I'm taking my boy Andy Reid and Jeremy Maclin. I do believe that you're right about the fact that they do look like they're becoming a little one-dimensional. Too much Jamal Charles, but at the same time, Jeremy Maclin caught that first TD pass for a touchdown in over a year for that team. I think Andy Reid knows exactly what Jeremy Maclin's strengths are. Alex Smith, in my opinion, has always been a bit of a bust. First overall pick, has not really accomplished anything in his career.
Same year as Aaron Rodgers.
Exactly, yeah. Big thing on Monday night.
Poor guy.
But I think they pull it off this one. Bengals are due for a loss, I think. So I'm going to give the Chiefs the win. And I know Michael has picked Cincinnati, just like you. He thinks that Andy Dalton is a good season performer.
Very good season performer.
Yeah, playoff time not so much,
Yeah.
But it is still the regular season. It's only week 4, so he's giving the win to the Bengals.
I think in playoffs, Dalton just assumes that the team is on vacation. We'll see what happens next week. So now we come to that difficult pick to make. The Cleveland Browns at the San Diego Chargers. The reason I call this a difficult pick is because the Chargers have let me down and screwed me over. Much a la Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. I thought they would be a sure thing against Minnesota. Didn't happen. The Browns, I thought they'd beat the Raiders. Didn't happen. These two teams are awful as in terms of predictions.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Chargers since they're at home. I think the powder blue might help them. That's literally all I'm going on.
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers, consistency. The Browns, I don't even know who's starting for them. So I'm going with the Chargers on this one.
Yeah, Bolts take it again for me. I'm giving this their last chance for me. If they lose to the Browns, then I'm done. So it's on record. The Browns suck. Josh McCown threw like 300 yards last week.
Yeah, they still lost.
Wasn't good enough. So, it just shows this team their coaching is terrible. Maybe the same scenario with the Dolphins. Decent pieces.
Only on a larger scale.
Yeah. And just they can't pull it together. The Chargers a bit disappointing this year, but they have a better team overall. I think a bit of bad luck too for the Chargers. Some of their woes.
Yeah.
Michael has also picked the Chargers to win, so I think we're all on the Bolts for this one.
I think if the Browns ever decide to get out of the football game, they could go into a vacuum cleaner business. They suck. They suck. interstellar black hole style. Go Chargers.
If this was back in the 80s,
Mhm.
I believe that this matchup would have been a lot better than it is today in 2015.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, there's no more Joe Montana, so those days are gone. So it's the Packers at the Niners this week. Cheeseheads versus the numbers.
Yeah. The digits.
Yeah.
I'm going with the Packers on this one. I mean, Kansas City, good team. Packers made them look pretty weak. Packers beat the Seahawks. Packers beat almost anyone they play nowadays. Their offense is ludicrous, even without what's his name, injured.
Jordy Nelson.
Jordy Nelson.
What?
But they got corn on the cob. They got James Jones playing amazing. They got Clay Matthews doing what he does. It's all operating on all cylinders. They're firing perfectly. 49ers got massacred by the Arizona Cardinals. I believe most police units were called in to stop the game. Did you see that at the end of the game?
I believe
SWAT teams were involved.
Yeah.
It was the most violent crime in San Francisco 49ers history. Actually, I think Kaepernick had a better QB rating to Cardinals players. He did. That's a fact. He did.
They did.
So I'm going with the Packers on this one.
I don't really think it's much question about who's gonna win.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's no Joe Montana. Those days are over.
Yeah.
Kaepernick, improvement from Alex Smith in my opinion, but definitely that window for the Niners closed so fast on them after that Super Bowl loss,
Yeah.
which apparently a power outage is all it takes to beat them. So Green Bay wins, and it might be a big blowout.
Yeah.
It just might be, and I know Michael picked the Packers to win this one too. So I don't even think many people are gonna question this one.
No. Packers all the way. See what happens. Finally, on this Sunday of evenly matched teams, we have a disparity, if you will. The flaming hot, almost sun god-like Arizona Cardinals are hosting the abysmal St. Louis Rams. I'm going to preface this by saying that I believed in the Rams early on in the season. I thought that with the defense they put together, they would really go places, but that offense, Nick Foles, what the hell happened, man? Arizona is capitalizing on every single offensive opportunity, and their defense is showing up to play. So, I mean, I don't know what to say. It's Cardinals all the way for me, no question.
Yeah, again, another, like you said, a very evenly matched week of football. The Cards just got that team that's like firing on all cylinders, just like the Packers this year. They seem to just be, everything they're doing seems to be the right thing.
Yeah.
Eventually, I do believe they'll fall back down to earth a bit, but definitely not this week. The Rams have disappointed me. I'm a Nick Foles believer. Really, it wasn't exactly the right choice. Chip Kelly may be a mad genius. I mean, Sam Bradford hasn't necessarily worked out for us yet, but
Maybe he saw Foles coming.
Maybe he saw Foles coming, just like the Donovan McNabb trade
Yes.
that you read me. So it could be something similar to that. We'll see. I still think they're a team pending a couple more weeks before they are judged whether they really are a disappointment or not. But Cardinals take this. Excuse me. Cardinals take this one in easy fashion.
Who'd Michael pick for this one?
Cardinals. I don't even think it's worth talking about.
Yeah. All right. So let's see what happens next week.
Yeah. Up in Denver, the Broncos are hosting the Vikings. I'm gonna give the edge to the Broncos. I think they got a better team overall. That defense is playing really well. Peyton's playing consistent like he always does. Not any crazy numbers this year, but really good overall. Vikings AP is proven that he's back. I was a big doubter for most of my life. I'm not gonna lie. Still don't think he's number one, but he's definitely back and proving that he's still a top running back in this league. That being said, the rest of the team isn't that great. Bridgewater's proving that he could be something in the future, but right now, Broncos win.
Yeah, I'm the biggest Peyton Manning fanboy in the world.
Oh.
Yeah, and while he's at home, he's chasing records. Even today, his defense is ridiculous. And the Broncos are not San Diego. They're not going to let AP run for what he did. I don't believe in the Vikings. Maybe I should start giving them some credit, but Denver at home, I think they're going to win this game.
Yeah.
Broncos all the way.
Yeah.
What did Michael pick?
He's on the Broncos wagon as well. As much as he hates to say it, he's a huge AP fan and he hates the Broncos because of his Raiders. But Vikings overall, I don't think they have enough. So Broncos across the board.
We'll see next week. If the Vikings win against the Broncos, I might start picking them every week.
Yeah, but I might give them some a little more credit. We'll see though.
Yeah, we'll have to verify that and get back to you next week. All right, coming up next on the NFL Prediction Center is the game that the NFL thought would be a real primetime showdown, and unfortunately, when your QBs get knocked around the way these guys do, you end up with the Cowboys at Saints. Drew Brees is probable, I think, for the game if he continues to go on the trajectory that he is. Romo is definitely not playing. So just on the fact that Brees is probable, I'm going to go with... I would go with the Saints, but I'll actually go with the Cowboys.
Oh.
Reason being that they really stunned Arizona, and I just don't think the Saints are going to measure up overall.
I don't necessarily agree with you. Might be a little bias of hate towards the Cowboys, but
Everybody hates Cowboys.
They have so many injuries, and yes, Drew Brees is probable, but I think even without him, I think they could put up a fight. It's in New Orleans. They're hungry for a win. They need a win. Sean Payton knows how to win games. He's proven it in the past. I don't think the Cowboys are going to take this one. I'm giving it to the Saints. It's the last week I'm giving it to them, though. With or without Brees, it's the last week of giving it to them.
You know, you say Sean Payton knows how to win a game. He's not allowed to make players injure other players anymore. We'll see if that has any effect on the game. Yeah. Who did Mike pick for this contest?
He has the Dallas Cowboys like you.
Smart man.
Hurts me a bit that my brother's picking the enemy, but whatever. It is what it is.
It's business.
Yeah, I think he believes that they have a better team overall. They proved that against the Falcons they could still put up some points.
Yeah.
But they can't finish games.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that New Orleans crowd rattles up Brandon Weeden and that the Dallas Cowboys.
Let's see if the Cowboys can bring another power outage to the Mercedes Superdome next week.
Yeah, the last game of the week, the Monday Nighter on ESPN Prime Time, or TSN if you live in Canada like us. The Detroit Lions are in Seattle to face the Seahawks.
I think, what do they call it when you're, fish in a barrel. The Lions are not winning this game. I don't care if Russell Wilson throws 5 interceptions and Richard Sherman manages to tip every interception he's about to catch into a receiver's hand 20 yards up the field. There's no way, in my eyes, that the Detroit Lions are beating the Seattle Seahawks now that Cam Chancellor's back in Seattle. I don't see it happening. Barring some catastrophe, I'm going Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm taking the Seahawks too. The Lions keep dropping the ball every single week. They keep proving that team is so far from even remotely being competitive. They put up numbers, yardage. Stafford, always 5,000 yards. Calvin Johnson, I don't know how many yards receiving he gets every year.
Abdullah.
Abdullah is always They always have decent running backs. Reggie Bush was good. Javid Best was good. Now this guy is good. But they can't win games. And to me, in the NFL, that's all that matters is those W's that you keep putting up. Cam Chancellor's back. It's in Seattle. Seattle takes this one, maybe in a blowout fashion.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
What did Michael take for him?
He's got Seattle too again. Bam Bam's back. I don't think there's literally anything else that needs to be said. Yeah. Seahawks across the board.
Alright, well that's been Prediction Center for this week. We'll see the records next week. I think so far David's overall record is still the best.
Yeah, not by much. Thanks to week 1, I'm still ahead. But
we'll see what happens next week. So we'll see you guys next Thursday to kick off week 5 of NFL games.